Welcome to Living from the Heart. I am your host, Tina Thrussell, light dancer, co-founder of Best You Can Be and messenger of the Shin, the Way of the Heart. Before I introduce my guest today, I'd like to draw your attention to the little crawler at the bottom of the screen that says, get your complimentary subscription of Heart and Mind Matters at bestyoucanbe.ca. Between Neil and I, we produce this e-zine every other Tuesday morning with an uplifting article, an inspirational YouTube video, a quote of the week, and it's intended as an uplift for your week. So if you go to bestyoucanbe.ca, you can subscribe and begin receiving this uplift every other Tuesday morning in your inbox. And with subscribers for more than 13 years, I believe we've got to be putting out some good content for people to stay with us that long. So our show is about celebrating purpose and passion, celebrating lives of purpose and passion. And I am absolutely delighted to have this guest on my show today. I first met Sandy Dacey when we were, well, I don't know if that's even when we first met, but we met, I'm going to bring her on screen so you can see this lovely lady that I'm speaking about here. We were both working on a filming project with a mutual friend. And at that time, Sandy was singing on stage, and I was really taken with how authentically she brought who she is to the stage, and how passionate she was about sharing her love of life and of music and of the world with everyone through her voice. And our paths have continued to cross in and out. We've woven in and out of each other's lives over the years. We're both sound wellness practitioners now. And I think personally that Sandy's passion for sharing her voice and her authenticity with the world has expanded to include a passion for helping others share their voice with the world. And I so admire what she is doing, and I am delighted that she is here on the show with us today. Welcome, Sandy.
Hi, Tina. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
It's just a delight to have you on the show. As I said, you've woven in and out of my life over so many years. And through all of that weaving, it doesn't matter how long it's been since the last time I saw you. I always feel like I am a very special person in your life. You make me feel that way. And I love and just find that so joyful. And I'm sure that everyone who meets you has that experience where you have a way of making people feel special and loved. And that so much says to me that you live from your heart, which of course is what this show is about.
Absolutely. Yes, I do. I live with a lot of gratitude, and I used to call it, hopeless optimism, but I've definitely changed that into an angel word, which is a perpetual optimist. I can't help it. The glass is always half full, and there's always something to learn, and sometimes even more so to celebrate. So that's kind of where I live.
That's beautiful. Celebration comes from where? From how? What's the attitude of celebration? How do you bring it into your life?
It's interesting. I think some parts of me feel like it's genetic. I met my birth family about 20 years ago and learned that I am full-fledged French Canadian. And one phrase, joie de vivre, is the joy of life. And I honestly feel that having met my birth family as well, that joie de vivre runs in all of my family on that side. And I mean, there is, definitely joy in the family I grew up with, but it was just interesting to see kind of genetics versus environment. And it runs throughout every family member on my birth side as well. So that was cool. So I feel like I'm genetically predisposed to joy.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. I am too, I think. And I wonder, what can we say to people to help them bring that spirit of joie de vivre into their life? what's the secret for people who maybe aren't born with this innate sense of joy? Or are we all, and just not all of us know how to access it? Oh, there's a question.
Yes, absolutely. Right. So I think one of the biggest things is recognizing how seriously we take ourselves and how seriously we take our lives. And I think, there's definitely a place for, responsibility and, having just honoring yourself and those around you. But I think there's a sense of values sometimes that gets missed. And I think it's important to take a look at those and find out what your values are, and at the same time, lighten up about it. So, find simple pleasures, just little things, skipping. When was the last time you skipped? Or, when was the last time you hummed a song that you heard at the grocery store? And, here you are just pushing your cart and you're humming. So that kind of thing. So I would say, just take pleasure in some of the little things along the way in your lives. If you're driving, pull over, just stop somewhere where it's safe to do so, and take a look around you and see what's happening right in front of you. And there have been many moments when I've noticed that, and noticed actually people taking time in the moment to recognize just something that's happening. So
you've said that, be present, right? It's about be right here, right now. And yeah. I know my last two guests, Reverend Cheryl Hines and Sharon Karn, they both referenced that as well, that the joy comes from being right here, right now. The sense of celebration comes from right here, right now.
Exactly. Yeah. And it doesn't all have to be celebratory. There's moments of all kinds of beautiful things as human beings that, we experience. So another way, an answer to your question is to also be present with things that might not be as comfortable. So can we be present in, just a challenging day? Can we just bring some mindfulness to grief? Can we bring, just mindfulness and being in the moment with something that we're going through? Because, as Shakespeare quoted, and even wrote that, this too shall pass. And that has really served me well, just knowing that, okay, you know what, this is just for now, and I can make a choice in this moment. I can choose to be with, this uncomfortable feeling or this joy, or, I can choose something else. I can choose to be peaceful and neutral or something along those lines. So there's always a choice, and taking the time for those little moments. I think that is what has served me, and that's what I share as well in my voice programs.
Beautiful. Yes. You've said that very well. Choice and perspective, right? Choice and perspective are what create our lives. The reality of our lives is based on how we see it. We all walk through the world as if we're wearing different colored sunglasses. I mean, your sunglasses are a different color than mine. And what I see through those sunglasses dictates my perspective of you, my perspective of the situation in the world. And if I don't like what I'm seeing, then maybe I want to change the lenses to a different color and see it differently.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Or sit with it until you're ready, but know that you're making a choice, that you don't feel, victimized in that moment, that there are things that, will go sideways in this lifetime. And for the most part, it's just, I've learned that it's not what happens, it's how you handle it.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. And that is also living from our heart, isn't it? It being in that place of making a choice that feels better. Ultimately, that's what living from the heart is making choices that make us feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only good too, but honoring of ourselves and our values and the kinds of things, that come from that wellspring of joie de vivre. It's a very, for me, it's a very honest little geyser, it's not always, it's not that I never get angry, or I don't, feel deep sadness, or, or frustration or irritation or any of that. It's just, okay, so I'm actually really experiencing the juice of life right now. I don't need to be in a hurry to get out of that uncomfortable feeling. I'm just enjoying, I have the opportunity to experience this. And that's something that I'd like to understand more. Like, how am I showing up right now? And is it affecting others? So I'm honestly, that geyser and that joie de vivre is, a big part of my heart. So it's just a matter of sitting with it and recognizing, okay, so is this heart-centered right now? And what would my heart do if it could make a decision right now?
Yeah, that's beautiful. That speaks to spirituality in a really subtle and gentle way, in that if we believe we are spiritual beings having a human experience, then we're here to experience all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, right? And saying, hey, yeah, I honor how this feels right now in this moment, and I'll take what gifts come from this quote unquote bad or ugliness. It's only that if we label it as that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And it can be really tough. That's a big concept too, to realize that, something is happening for you, not to you or at you. And wow, it's, we want to just point fingers and just say, that, okay, really, this isn't mine. You caused this, and all that. And then you think of this pointing thing, right? And then you think of all the fingers that are pointing back at you. So it's kind of like, well, maybe on some level, you needed to learn this lesson today. And, but at the end of the day, I think it's just all about living as fully as you can, and as honestly as you can, and heart-centeredly as you can.
Absolutely. So that's what brings a sense of passion to your life, right? That sense of just living it. I mean, if life was a bull, jump on, grab it by the horns, and ride it for all you're worth.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a big part of it, for sure. And yeah, the passion, that's something too that is such a deep emotion. It really is about, to me, the word passion is something that I feel dedicated to. It's something that rejuvenates me. It fuels me. It spills over. So it's like my cup is full and it's spilling over. And if I want to be intentional about it, then I can have it work as a tool to help others as well. So if I'm being the change I want to see, and I'm, being the vessel that's overflowing with love and all the things that gifts that I feel I bring, then I feel like I'm leading by example.
And you do. From what I know of you and all the times that our paths have intersected, you really do walk your talk. You do live with that passion. You do live with that love. And yes, you live from a full cup that overflows. And it's a beautiful thing. That's why you're here sharing this Shin, the way of the heart, because it really is who you are. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thanks, Tina. That's so awesome. But, another thing too that I've come into contact with is those that feel that they, do they have to be a leader to have passion? And, do they have to really have, is all their value tied into leading by example? And I think that one of the more subtle experiences in life is just knowing that you have value just by breathing, just by, sharing your heart along the way, being true to yourself. You don't need to be all that and 20 bags of chips, to be of value. But I also believe too that anyone that is here on the planet right now at this time of massive growth spiritually and planetarily, and there's a lot of changes that are happening right now. And I think that there are some that came to lead and some that came to witness. So whether you came to lead or whether you came to witness and just hold space, or, you know, just kind of intentionally support others that are leading, there is value in all of it.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out. I think for average Joe or average Jill, sometimes their life feels minimized by all those great people out there, right? The inspirational talks, the motivational talks come from people who face these incredible circumstances and overcome them and come out on top smiling. And it makes some people feel like, well, you know, I just do my thing every day. I don't make a difference. But as you say, we all make a difference by being here, shining the light of who we are, and whatever gifts we bring into the world doesn't matter. We're all a very unique package. We each have our own set of talents and gifts and skills, and we bring love into the world in our own ways. And as you said, if we honor ourselves, if we honor that, then we're going to feel on purpose. That's really the bottom line. Instead of, yeah.
And just, you know, passionate about life. Just period.
Yeah.
It's a miraculous thing. There, you know, just nature in and of itself. I'm sitting here looking out at these beautiful trees just outside of my home, and they change every day. Every day there's something happening with this tree. So it's just wonderful.
That's so cool. I want to take this second to just acknowledge our guests who are watching this show. We've got comments about wonderfully amazing and great talk, and I don't know if you're able to see that, Sandy, so I want to let you know that there is that feedback coming back. Brian Simbaluk's here with us, Adele Bernard, your raving fans, I'm sure. And again, I understand why they're raving fans. You bring the realism of who you are into the world, into your music, and whether you're on stage or teaching a class, you are you. You are your beautiful you, and people get to experience that. And I really honor that. And yeah.
Thank you.
So I said that I believe your passion has expanded from not only sharing your love of music and your voice with the world, because you've been performing for how long now? Do you dare admit it?
Well, since I was 4. How about that?
Wow. Yeah. So that's a really long time.
So I guess, yeah, officially since I was in my late teens. So I got into a School of Performing Arts, and that audition will be forever in my cells, my cellular memory, as one of the most beautifully traumatic experiences of my life. But it ended up, and it led to me seeing the world. So it was an invitation for me to shine my light that I didn't even know existed. Number one, I knew I loved to sing, but I didn't know that it was worth listening to, really. So, but it was one of those things that just brought me such joy. And ultimately, every time that I auditioned thereafter, I would always look at the love-fear factor, and love always won. Always. There was 25 things to love about it, and the things that were more on the fear-based side were around judgment, so self-judgment or judgment from others. So that was just where that sat, and the rest of it kept adding up. So love won, and every time I stepped out there, I felt like the spotlight was an angel just shining its light on me, and that it was okay. I was going to be all right. I was going to survive. So then I went on from there and did a lot of different performing, and I've seen the world as a result of me saying yes. and stepping into the power of my voice and the courage to share it.
How beautiful. And to extrapolate that for everyone out there, it doesn't matter if your passion isn't singing and shining your light on stage. As Sandy said, she was doing what she loved and shining the light she didn't even know she had just by doing what she loved. And you can do that too. All of you who are watching this is the big message behind that. And it's, I think, the big message behind the work that you do with vocal energies too, isn't it?
Yes, very much so. Absolutely. And it's creating a safe, space to be able to play with your voice is the name of the series, but it's actually that in action. So we play with our voices and we learn about how they work along the way. And whether your goals are to be a recreational singer or a speaker at a wedding or beyond, so as a public speaker or as a singer out in the world, as a professional singer, there's a lot to be said for recognizing your gifts, whether it, like I said, is just for self-expression or for professional reasons.
Yeah, and that self-expression doesn't even have to come in necessarily in the form of singing on stage or otherwise, but just to be able to express for yourself, to give your voice a voice and let it be in the world and to know that it has value. That is a key component as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, very powerful for sure. And that, even goes back to, it speaks to what we were, what I was saying about anyone that doesn't feel that they're necessarily a leader, they still have a lot of value and a lot to offer. And every human, every living thing has a vibrational frequency. So when it comes to voice, that is just an added bonus for us to be able to use words. There are, animals have a voice as well, but they don't have the option of being able to use words. So we've got that added kind of layer of vibrational frequency on top of using our voice. But every single voice is unique. It's like a snowflake. So being able to use it to even speak to a family member, anyone who hears your voice knows that that it's you. They recognize your vibrational frequency.
Right.
So it's really interesting just to recognize that is something that a lot of people don't know, that they're as unique as a snowflake. Your voice is a very specific part of your human experience.
Yeah, how neat. How neat to think that not only are we as unique as the snowflake, our voice is as unique as a snowflake. Whoa, we're all these beautiful snowflakes. Exactly. And I wonder if people in places in the southern hemisphere don't have snow have any idea what we're talking about.
Okay, a drop of water. No. Or fingerprint. How about that? Fingerprint.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to just add to that, just because if anybody isn't snowflakes, snow comes in individual tiny little crystals, and every single little crystal that falls from the sky is very unique in its pattern and shape. And we are like that too.
Very much so. So yeah, it's fun. And again, for self-expression, for self-healing, the voice is a very powerful thing. And even those, I work with those that actually don't have a voice. They don't have the capability. They're actually mute. So they don't have the capability to use their voice. However, they can make sounds, or they use their body language in a whole other way that helps anyone around them to understand what they're saying. So without words. So I know it's been a very interesting experience around that as well. And thought is also vibrational. So that, the intention of anything that someone is experiencing and wanting to share, or just even thinking. Sometimes you can tell by looking at someone, What are you thinking right now? Let me guess. And it's almost like there's that exchange of vibrational frequency that happens with the thought as well. So that's been very an interesting experience with someone without voice.
Wow, that's fascinating to think that you can help someone who doesn't even have a voice to express themselves. That's really cool. That is really cool. I cannot believe we're at 11:26. We've been on air for 26 minutes live. I know it's gone like a blink. So let me just ask if you had one message for our viewers today, Sandy, what do you want them to take away?
Oh, well, it would be definitely around communicating something from your heart to someone special or to someone in your life. Actually use your voice to say to a grocery clerk that looks like she's stressed, I really hope you have a good day, or hope the rest of your day is better. Or sing to someone. That's another thing too. Even if you don't think you have a singing voice, the sound of your voice sometimes it can be the best medicine. Laughter is great medicine, and that's still using your voice. But if you can sing to someone and just twinkle, twinkle, little star, or anything that comes to your heart, then I would say that would probably make a huge difference to someone. So say something to someone today that might serve them, or sing to them.
And do it, as you said, with that loving kindness and intention from your heart, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So in the words of Carol Burnett, Sandy, I'm so glad we had this time together.
I love that. Just to have a laugh or sing a song.
Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we
have to say
so
long. And then she tugged on her ear because it had something to do with remembering her grandmother. So another lovely, love, heart-centered thought.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I've got on screen here, if you want to connect with Sandy Dacey, you can find her on Facebook through Vocal Energies, or on her personal page, Sandy Dacey. And we thank you again for being with us today and sharing your heart, your playfulness, your passion with us. And we thank you, our viewers, for watching today. And again, invite you to step into living with greater purpose, passion, love, joy, and fulfillment in your life by living the Shin Dao, the way of the heart. Until next week, when I'll be sharing with my guest, Susan Cullen, a really interesting perspective on purpose, which will be Wednesday, back to our usual time, Wednesday at 9. Again, thank you so much, Sandy, for making the adjustment, doing the show today at 11. It meant so much to me to have some extra family time out of town. So grateful to you. Again, just another indication of your big heart. Yeah.
Oh,
mess up your whole schedule for me.
You're amazing. Thank you so much, Tina. This is
all right
for all your gifts.
Thank you. We love you. And create a beautiful, beautiful day.
Ciao.
Till soon.